Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger. And give me a moment. All right, let's let the people get ready. But I was at the got myself a brisk iced tea. Oh no, that's not an iced tea. My bad. It's a brisk and it says juice drink. I normally don't get stuff like this, but it's COVID, so I'm doing a lot of stuff I don't normally do. But I was looking at the back right now, and it says contains 1% juice. So, yeah, yeah, that's the thing. It's basically I just drank. I drank the whole thing just now. I just drank like 99% bullshit, like complete and total bullshit. So, I'm not gonna do that again. That's all kind of fucked up. That's how my day. Oh, and a nigga. I finally caught a nigga. Um, 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 with a dog. He had three dogs and no bags. And I caught him. He shitted on my neighbor's lawn. Or not, he didn't do it, but one of his dogs shitted on my neighbor's lawn. And I caught that motherfucker. Because I don't know. It depends on the neighborhood you live in. But y'all ever see dog shit? You ever see dog shit? And when there's one, there's other ones. So that means that these motherfuckers just walk every day and put a new fresh shit in the neighborhood. Every day. Every day some kid playing could just get it. Or something like that. Listen, I'm not a dog person. But if I were a dog person, I would pick up the shit. The fuck is wrong with you? So I finally caught one of these motherfuckers because he went home and got it back. But he would have just, if I hadn't said anything, it would have been three shits a day. It would have been three fucking shits a day on the block. Every single day is three fucking shits. I don't have any kids, but that's just disturbing. And besides, dog shit it makes mushrooms and shit. Makes I'm telling you, it pissed me off. But all good now, all good. So, you learn, lemonade and shit. All right, so let's get to the topic at hand. So, dnieka Marie, and y'all, if y'all don't know, then that means that you're not subscribed to my other channel. So please subscribe to that. She was one of the people that I featured maybe like a month ago as one of my potential my potential crushes. Now, I landed on the girl that does Irish dancing, because she got sexy legs and she does the whole dance thing. And I don't know, something about the dance thing that she do is weird. And the fact that she did new shit without really focusing on, she did new shit without really tripping on what other people say. She did her own thing. So that's what really turned me on about her. So that's my new crush after that Van Girl fiasco. Yeah, that shit. Anyway, but she was a candidate, and this wasn't. See, when I pick a crush, when I pick an online crush, it's not really about looks or anything like that. Even though I wouldn't say that there's anything necessarily wrong with dnieka's looks. It's just that the her image is being tainted because so many hood girls have tattoos and shit. So her image has been tainted because many women who look like her or look like her trope just go out and do some unattractive shit. Like, think about it. Like, you a handsome motherfucker, but if you look like every janitor in the fucking world, then it will affect how people perceive you. It just would. If they made a robot that looked like you and it just went around like eating dog shit or something like that, then they'll be like, you look like that nigga that eat dog shit. No matter how handsome you are, that's going to be a fucked up look. So I think that's what's affecting her perceived value. But it's not really about looks, as I mentioned. So she was a candidate, but I went with a younger chick because of the whole dance thing. So I covered her, and I was talking about this one thing that she did, and I started getting pushback, and a lot of people gave her hate afterwards. There was like a lot of hate coming up in this space against her, and I think it's largely because of her appearance. Now, and Obsidian was probably talking shit too. In fact, she said on the thing that I just watched with her and Jessica. Oh, by the way, Jessica X was on the thing, so shout out to her. So I'm thinking that um, I'm thinking that the people who are hating on her are hating on her appearance because she is Keisha in appearance. However, and she has the name and everything, even though she didn't name herself. But that's neither here nor there. So she has that appearance, and they just assume that she's probably just level 2. And I mean, the jury's still out on that, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that her message is solid. Her message is solid, and that is for women to get reacquainted with their femininity. I'm not going to name names, Sister George, but it was some fellas earlier in this space that didn't really have nice things to say. Now I'm pretty sure that they seen her thing now, and they probably changed their tone because I had good shit to say, but that's because I've seen her shit before. See, to look at her, you probably assume something else, but to hear her, then you get a better perception, and that's what I was going off of, what I heard. So, and by the way, I ordered her book. So, for those of you who don't know, I just came back from Texas. So, I put the Amazon order of her book that I had pending on hold, and now I just redid it. So, I'll give an overview of that. Submission is not the enemy. And listen, I'm always promoting female submission. That's why I'm always saying, if you ain't fucking pick me, let me put the banner up. If you ain't fucking pick me's, you ain't fucking shit. A woman who's not a pick me is just like, is not a woman. Like, if she don't have a desire to be chosen by a man, then what the fuck good is she? Or has been chosen by a man, then what the fuck good is she? Hold on, let me put that out there. And there we go. That's why I always preach to women the value of submission. I always do that. And fellas, shout out to the fellas. Now, what I was doing earlier today too, while I was walking the neighborhood and finding niggas shitting on not my lawn, but just fucking these lawn shitting dog niggas, while I was patrolling for shit like that, shit like that. Oh, I was talking to a YouTuber about that. And I was like, brother, we can't be just coming down on women who classify or at least have the appearance or talking points of a pick-me. You can't do that. Because then what it's going to do is going to solidify these quasi semi-feminist bitches, who come out and say, no matter how much we submit, they're still going to talk shit. They're still going to talk shit about us. If we submit, even if we do submit, look at how they do dnieka. Why should I submit knowing that you're going to talk shit? We need to let them know that submission gets you the ring, and more importantly, submission gets you the penis. Penis. It gets you that. And that's what you want. And I'm not talking about the dick. Any woman can get the dick. I'm talking about the penis. I'm talking about a man who maximizes himself for you. A man who becomes his best self for you. Damn right, Sister George, they did it to Jessica. And they do it to me just for supporting people, who present as pick-me. Now, largely it was because of the Kales thing, but even still, I mean, they do it to me. Oh, it's like, look, I'm not going to tell women to be submissive, to turn their back on the fucking sisterhood, and then shit on them as they do it. I'm not going to put them in a position to where they're shitted on by the sisterhood and by the brotherhood as well. The fuck I look like? So no, if you are a submissive woman, know that you have a home on my penis. Know that. This is a place, my space. Other YouTubers come in like, you should do this, you should take wrenches, you should do this, what the fuck is you should do? Nigga, fuck that. Fuck that. Yeah, Sister George, that's just some nana envy. I did a video on that. That's just some nana envy. So for those of you who don't know, nana envy is a feeling that a woman gets when another woman with a higher SMV walks into the room. And it doesn't even have to be higher, it just has to be well within your range, or she's taken a large portion of the male attention in a given space. So if it's a classroom, it's 30 guys in a class, and it's just like the change in tone that they get. They're like, oh shit, this is some nana envy. It's the same feeling that a hooker gets when another one comes on the block. When another hooker comes on the block, is that feeling. And then there's just like an automatic resentment and hate and shit like that. Fellas, stay the fuck away from that. Like when you hear it, and I heard it from Kills, but when you hear it, immediately just step the fuck to the side. Don't pick either side. I don't care if it's your mom doing this shit. Do not pick either side. Don't say shit. Don't do shit. Just step the fuck to the side. I'm serious. You do not get out of there. That's what you do. You get the fuck out of there. As quick as the moment they say, be like, "Ooh, look at her. She talk about, look at her fucking hair. Look at this. Look at this. She thinks she's so hot, but I bet you that, she got butt injections." Step the fuck away. Step the fuck away. That is a nana envy situation. Step the fuck away. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it there, and I wouldn't be. Shout out to Jessica. I wouldn't be surprised. Like that's just what they do. Like pick fellas, and this is back to the fellas. Pick-me's get hated by everybody. Why in the fuck are you gonna just like dog pound it? Why in the fuck you see a pick-me getting picked on and you fucking pick on her too? That don't make no sense. You want to encourage that behavior. Now I'm going to give my theory on why fellas do it, but Larry Mallory, so I appreciate you. Says some guys in this space are legit red pill raging. Yeah, I get that. But you have to have a goal. You have to have a goal in mind. I mean, you can't be mad forever. And as much as you may be raging right now, you're not going to turn down a dnieka or Jessica properly presented to you. So let's not, don't be that dude. But yeah, let's see. Okay. So yeah, so the fellas, the reason why a lot of the fellas do it, because I get it. You're playing the numbers game. Listen, the overwhelming majority of women in our community are not openly pick me. So what you hear is sisterhood chick talking, like, oh yes, this, and this, and this, and this, and you like, oh, and I ain't no pick me. I'm a strong, independent woman. And then you walk up like, yeah, I can't stand pick me's. I want me a strong, independent woman. Fuck you. You just saying that because you're 90% more likely. I'm just throwing numbers out there. You're 90% more likely to get a strong, independent chick than a pick me. And you don't want to cut your pussy supply by a factor of 10. That's the thing. You don't want to divide. You don't want to divide. You don't want to limit yourself to fucking pick-me's. And I hear you. And I'm not saying don't fuck non-pick-me's. You can fuck yourself a strong, independent woman. More fool them. But don't do it at the expense of a pick-me. They're better women and they deserve more. Which is why when I'm fucking a strong, independent woman, I hold back an inch or two. But the pick-me get the whole thing. Why? Because she's better. She gets the whole penis. That's just how that works. See, women have hierarchies of men. They do. They know that they would really put it on Will Smith more than, I don't know if he's famous, he's probably rich, but more than Flavor Flav. They know that that's the case. He's higher on the hierarchy of men. you know. And if you're an older woman, you would give it to Morgan Freeman better than you would give it to that nigga that shot Nino Brown at the end of New Jack City. You the nigga that shot Nino Brown at the end of New Jack City. He's just a fake ass Morgan Freeman. He's the one that people get when they can't afford Morgan Freeman with the voice and shit. So they get him for like roles like that when they need like a old slim black man with that look. That's that dude. And that is the body of his work. He just walks around in Morgan Freeman's shadow. That's you. Batman gets more and better quality than Robin. If they were gangbanging, Batman would get it better. That's just how it is. So understand that. I'm not saying don't fuck these bitches, but understand that they are lesser bitches. They are lesser than the pygmies. Now you see, Jessica and them were saying, and dnieka, they were saying, don't fuck these women. No, you gotta fuck them, but you gotta make it worse. You gotta show them that their pussy is worth less. You got to increase their nana envy, but you have to refocus their nana envy on the pygmies. See, fellas, we want them to be envious of the pygmies. We want them to say, you know something? I bet you she gets GameChanger's whole dick. That's what you want them to do. You want to refocus the nana envy, not on the ones who simply have the best nana, because anybody can be like thotting it up or be like this strong, independent Olivia Poe type bitch and shit like that. They could do all that, and then the chicks get nana envy because oh, she's a lawyer. No, you want them to get nana envy because she is a pygmy. Not only do they have nana envy, they have nana envy. They have nana envy. All the other old bitches, and I was saying this yesterday. I shouldn't say other, but the old bitches at bingo, oh yeah, they envy my nana. You want to know why? Because she was a pygmy her whole damn life, and she knew how to keep a family together as a result of being a pygmy. Hold on. It's disingenuous to say don't fuck those bitches. You just have to disrespect them after you fuck them. Well, okay. The absence of respect or the same level of respect that you give a pygmy isn't disrespect. It's not. However, they should get less respect than that, which does not exclude disrespect. It doesn't exclude disrespect. And let's face it, the reason why she's getting that is because she is not a pygmy. And as a result, she's not only disrespecting you, society, and community, she's disrespecting herself. Yes, she doesn't deserve the same respect as more respectful women. Now, if she's fucking you, then that just means that she's into you. And fellas, y'all know what I'm talking about. So y'all ever? I'll tell this. No, I won't tell this story because then it'll be getting too personal. But y'all ever been like out with a chick that you fuck that's cool to you, but just completely fucked up to everybody else in the universe? Like she's fucked up to the waitress. She's pointing and laughing at homeless motherfuckers when they come up and do that shit, and bum for money. She's just like all type of talking shit. If you go dancing or something, you go to the club and she's talking shit to the bartender for not getting her shit, but she's real like in your face. That just means that she's into you. She's into you. And that doesn't mean that she's a pick me. It means that she just wants to be picked by you. What the fuck? By the way, this isn't me. This is Zone doing it under my thing. The fuck do I have to dislike? See, and that's what I'm talking about. Fucking sisterhood. Fucking sisterhood. Yeah, hit the like button, please. The share button, all that. But yeah, it's the fucking sisterhood. They get together and they covet and they fucking like stir a pot of bubbling goo and shit and hit the dislike button on me. Like that's what the fuck they do. Why? Because they don't want the message to get out. And the message that is out, and it's been out for a while, is that their pussy is worth less than pick me pussy. Period. And I'm not talking about the physical appeal of it. I'm not even talking about that's not the sisterhood. Well, who's disliking it? And how do you know? I knew you was sisterhood. Why are the men disliking it? Well, explain me that. Sister George, come up if you want. Why are the men disliking it? I'm advocating for you to still put part of your dick inside it. What the fuck? Yeah, could somebody explain me why the men would dislike that? I think this is weird. We all want to fuck 8 through 10s, but it's not probable for most. No, of course, by nature, only 20% are 8 through 10s, Pinky. No, that's not what I'm getting at when I say that. I'm not talking about their physical appearance. Notice I wasn't saying that. I'm talking about their mentality. Pick me doesn't really apply to a woman's physical appearance. You know, even though if she was a pick me, she would at least be in shape. No, it's not even, it's not even a matter of that. Like if a woman was born with bushy eyebrows or some shit like that, and or whatever, just genetically unfortunate. I'm not saying overlook them. I'm talking about the mentality, the fact that she values a man and improves herself in areas that she can in order to seduce such man because she values him. That's a pick me, Listen, you could be an 8 through 10 and still be a sisterhood chick and still just be a ratchet. If you don't believe me, watch a show. I used to watch a show with my ex. I rarely watch reality TV. In fact, I only watched it with her, and I'm not talking about like a more recent ex. I'm talking about from years ago. Like 10 years ago. But there's two shows. I watched Basketball Wives because it had somebody on it that I went to high school with. Basketball Wives of LA. I watched it because of her, and I watched Bad Girls Club because my ex watched it. And there was some extraordinarily attractive women on that show that was ratchet as fuck. I mean, they were ratchet as fuck. So it's not just about like a woman's genetics. A pick-me goes to the mentality. It's the mentality of a woman that can completely say, fuck the sisterhood and all of the sisters in it. Oh, by the way, I got another show about the sisterhood coming up later today. This is an impromptu because I didn't know that the Melody dnieka or not Melody, but that the Jessica dnieka shit was going to be so lit. So I had to do a follow-up on that. But Sister George, so why are you saying that that's the fellas that's disliking it?
GameChanger, we really are in the manosphere, and you do realize that every woman that comes through the manosphere has to go through like a obstacle course or something before she gets to the respect of the men. And so when you're dealing, Jessica had to go through it. I went through it. The Crimson Cure went through it. I think Melody has gone through it. Every woman that hops on a panel, the men automatically grill her and she goes through it. And so you do have men in the space that are experiencing red pill rage. You have men in the space that don't feel like the women should be here. And you have men in the space that feel like the manosphere should be male centered and strictly about men. But when women come into the space, we change the dynamics of what the space is supposed to be about. So
Mhm.
I'm not going to sit here and deny that we do change the dynamics when we come into the space, but that's exactly what happens. So yeah, I think it's the men that's disliking it, because even when the women beef, and I've had a couple of mix-ups with the Crimson Cure, but she
Mhm.
and I don't necessarily go back and forth. Now she'll take cheap ass shots like the person she is, but she and I don't even go back and forth. I've had it out with Cluster B. Cluster B did her one video about me. I did a response video. She
Mhm.
and I don't go back and forth. There are chicks that have come at me, but we don't even go back and forth. We'll say our piece and we'll keep moving. With the men, now you'll have men that don't like me, right?
Mhm.
Now, let's say me and this one person will go back and forth. Every time I'll see them in a chat room, they'll have something stupid to say to me, even though I'm not bothering them.
Mhm.
And it's that's a thing around here. So yeah, I don't think it's the sisterhood. I honestly think it's the men. And I'm not saying that they don't have a right. I'm just saying it's them.
So you're saying basically because I support pygmies, and I'm not just like bulldogging every chick that comes my way, like how dare you have a vagina and not let me put my penis in it because I'm not that dude. They just come and dislike my shit.
Um Well, it could be what you represent. A lot of well, I'm not gonna say a lot because I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
there was a big thing with the Tie City thing and Jessica X and you opening up the panel to Jessica X. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the fact that you would have women on your channel, the fact that you stand for the pick me's, it's still you standing for women when you're not going, like, if you stand for women, then they probably perceive that as you going against the brotherhood. And the brotherhood is a bigger organization than the sisterhood.
Well, you know something? No, it's not. But you know something? I mean, if I'm caught in the middle between the brotherhood and the sisterhood, then I'm glad I'm caught there with the pygmies. How about that, niggas? Just like that, you know, and sisterhood chicks like this like that. If I'm caught in the middle between the two of you, then I'm stuck there with the pygmies, and I'll gladly be there before I deal with some fucking. All right, I'm not even gonna
But
go.
then do you realize that even if, okay, so you can be on a panel with a woman and a woman to make a good point about men, but the men will be like mad because it's a woman that said it. But if you agree with the woman, they get mad at you because you're just supposed to agree with them because they're men. And the point is, and I think one of the bigger points of the manosphere is there's supposed to be a sense of camaraderie and it's supposed to be guys against these bitches. And so when guys are not siding with the other men against these bitches, that's a problem because y'all don't seem to have a cohesive camaraderie with each other.
Okay, say the last part again. I was reading a thing. Right before camaraderie.
I don't think I'm saying there's not a cohesive camaraderie. Like there's so many gaps in between the groups of men, and so y'all might disagree on one aspect of something, but then y'all hate each other because y'all disagree on a certain aspect of something.
Mm-hmm.
And well, that's what I see. So
Okay. Okay. So basically, yeah, and I'm an advocate for, and that's why I was calling the brother earlier, to taking care of the disagreements behind the scenes, because, it is a perceived weakness, arguing in front of someone. And that's pretty much a universal thing, even gang niggas, shout out to them. Even they have rules, don't fight in front of the enemy, don't fight each other in front of the enemies and shit like that. But we do need to set some bylaws on that. But that's something that we should definitely talk about.
and somebody brought about a good point in the chat. And I want to say it was Leo Anthony who said that the women don't check each other. Yeah, we don't check each other like the men, but we don't have, it doesn't seem like, no, I'm not going to say it's not as much drama, but amongst certain women there's not as much drama.
No, that's
So
because y'all don't completely check them. Listen. Oh, my bad. Did I miss a super chat? Oh shit. Oh no, here it is. Oh, let me read this and then so Rocky N states, let's see. GC, the dislike might be the ops. You've been out here shooting with Beretta, Mac 10s, 2.9s, and AK. Yeah, who knows? But hey, dislike my shit, dislike my shit. What can I say? Um, you know, I guess it shows that you're interacting, so that's a plus anyway. What was I about to say?
You were going to agree with me that the brotherhood is bigger than the sisterhood.
No, no, no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Most women are in the middle, kind of like most guys aren't in a fraternity, but they're still in college, it's that type of shit. Like, and they still go to the parties or some shit like that. So that is a real thing. Listen, most women aren't in the sisterhood proper. They don't go to the meetings and shit. They don't chant niggas ain't shit, on a regular. They just don't. What they do, but there are those who are in the middle, afraid to go against it, and will just sit and nod in agreement with it because they're afraid to go against it. And it's so vast that going against the sisterhood could mean like an excommunication from all of the black women that they know.
I
I
agree.
I do notice that, and it's not an easy thing to just say fuck you, mama, grandmama, and aunties, and fuck you too, cousin.
I
Like it.
agree.
Yeah, it is a difficult thing, which is why I have a place that embraces well, that allows pygmies and shit like that. Because I understand you're going through a thing, but it is a large majority of the population. Now, I mean, I think men feel comfortable in having our disputes is because it's evenly matched. Like you got your five fellas over there, I got my five fellas over here, so we could go at it on I don't know, educated lane, Pookie Ray Ray, even though that's not really that shouldn't even be a thing, or whatever
I
you want to
agree.
call it. Like it's but most of us aren't on some red pill rage type shit or
You
fuck,
know,
at least from what
so when you have women who come into the space and they're presenting themselves as feminine women, and they still get a lot of pushback and hate, and they're getting the pushback and hate for basically no reason a lot of the times. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Some women will come into space and bullshit. I am one of them. I do present a form of black female fuckery here and there in between, but I am not perfect. I am me. But you do have some women who do come in the space better than I've come in the space, and they still get pushed back. And so when they get pushed back and they're getting cursed out and they're getting called names, what do you say to that? Because you do have some men that are going through red pill rage, and I don't think a lot of credence is being paid to. A lot of men don't pay a lot of credence to that. What do you think of that?
Okay, here's the thing. I do point out to not give pygmies shit. I make that, and you know that because you've been in my channel for a while. I do,
Absolutely.
and I take shit for that. So, if you're looking for somebody who actually tolerates it or some shit like that, then that's a whole nother.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're trying to double talk and saying like that doesn't really happen a lot. It's a small major. It's a small percentage of the space, and to me, that's not true.
Probably, probably. I don't frequent the whole space, to be perfectly honest with you. But I do tend to stick with channels that stray away from shit like that. Like the channels that I have allow women, or that I frequent, allow women and pick me's on it. So I don't like really know of it.
That's
Um,
a good point. That's
you
a
know.
good point.
But no, I mean, I'm pretty sure that there is a larger space that just like fuck you, you getting your husband a sandwich and shit like
Shout out to Bernard.
that. Like I mean, I would probably just talk to the brother, like but and that's one instance. Another instance is we have what's called level two. Now, a level two is, and when I talk about level two, I always reference the song "Poison" by Belle Biv DeVoe. And this is the woman who is, she's so fly, she'll drive you right out of your mind and steal your heart when you're blind. Beware, she's scheming. She'll make you think you're dreaming. You'll fall in love and you'll be screaming, demon. See, there are women who are capable of disguising themselves as pygmies. As we've seen in this very space, there are women who are capable of doing that, and they're doing that for whatever end. Whether it's money, whether it's what have you, they know that they get higher quality penis as a pygmy. They know that. So they fake the funk and shit like that. And now there are guys who suspects level two that might go after a perceived pygmy. I think that was a little bit of the dnieka hate, because they like, oh well, if she was a true pick me, why she got that tattoo? Well, probably because her husband wanted it to, and she submitted to his desire. This is none of your fucking business. So like, so some guys suspect level two, and that is the deceiver, the daywalker, whatever you want to call it. So, but yeah, my bad. Soul provider, what's on your mind?
Hey man, what's going on?
Nothing much, brother.
Yeah, so shout out to Jessica. That was a cool ass collab. Like I saw the schedule shit. I was like, oh shit, people are gonna get triggered. And it was expected. But the funny thing about it is that I keep telling the brothers in the chat, you need to pay attention on how the pygmies are operating, or the Stargates, right? Because the sisterhood, just like the Stargates, have something in common. They support each other like nothing. I mean, when Jessica came here, then you saw Sister George quickly, boom, that's some good shit, right? But here, sadly, according because of 4.0 explained by MOT, niggas are in different cliques. It's like high school. We're in different cliques. Niggas are beefing, jealousy, stabs in the back, bullshit, bragging rights. We're all distracted. Meanwhile, dnieka and her Stargate army are forming and growing, included with Jessica X, Sister George, and they're putting us in the dust. So I'm just curious for the brothers. I mean, because I'm a new guy, I'm a nobody, just started. What's going to happen when we see more Sister George, more dnieka, and more Jessica X? Like, you niggas were going crazy because of just a handful of people. What happens if you get 10 more channels just like Jessica X or Sister George? What happens then?
What's going to happen is going to be more hate, and more division, like the one that you've seen. Listen, a lot of brothers have accepted the old trope of a black woman. They bought into it. Some of them, have gotten wives. Some of them has had like a string of girlfriends or one night stands and everything that they pride themselves on, even though these were not pygmies. Once they start seeing, a string of pygmies, they're going to see what they're missing, what they have been missing. So that's going to cause a little bit of resentment. Now, I don't really know how that's going to manifest itself, but I do see that coming a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be bad. And I'm just wondering, what are the brothers going to do? Are you all, are we still going to be in our high school bullshit, little gangs and cliques and this? I mean, are we going to really be that distracted? Meanwhile, and everyone's getting monetized quick and heavy and just moving on. I mean, like, what's the point of getting, we're distracted, that's what I'm seing,
Well, I mean, no matter what, it'll be good that the ladies are becoming pygmies, and so perhaps some of the criticism will subside on that front. So that would be a good thing for the ladies, and fellas will stop leaving the collective and start leaving the individuals of black women. So that would be a good, but the bad is always going to be a bad. Listen, if you're a dude that work out 5 times a week and you find yourself, married to an overweight woman with no uppers, by uppers, I'm talking about the teeth, the upper teeth, the ones that the first one that the brush is supposed to hit, but well, whatever. If you find yourself in that situation, then you're going to be against travel, or against men getting with pygmies, and shit like that. Why? Because you've already picked your camp, and you're defending that camp. So I could see that coming a mile away, and I seen it with the passport dudes. There's always been, well, I shouldn't say always, but I noticed recently that there has always been this animosity between brothers who will only settle for pygmies, and brothers who settled for the status quo. I got it as soon as I got here. When I first started, and this is why I don't really have like a, what do you call it, like a prophyte or a rabbi, or just like a person who people can say I came up under, as far as 2.0 and those dudes. And that's because, well, one, C Boogie was beefing with Obsidian, and then but really it was primarily because BGS came at me. BGS came at me because I was preaching standards. Oh, and shout out to Jessica, or was it dnieka? Whoever brought the standards portion. Shout out to them again. I was preaching this like over a year ago. I'm like, brothers should really have standards. Like, you shouldn't just fuck a woman just because she has a pussy. It does something to the mentality, and you're really just making things worse for yourself overall. And you lower you devalue yourself while overvaluing her. So I was talking this shit a year ago, and they came at me for that. Like, nigga, you ain't every girl gonna be the prom queen and shit. I'm like, look, I'm not saying the prom queen. I'm just saying have reasonable standards and shit, and know your worth. So there's always gonna be those dudes that, to some level, accepted the status quo, and when that changes, even for the women, then that's going to change. That's going to affect them. Like, why do you think swirling is a thing? Like, a lot of Black women are changing, but the Black men aren't really all the way prepared to receive that change. Because, see, I got family members, right? I got family members and shit, and they're I'm not gonna brag, but they have these genetics, right? And they see the shit. They see the shit, like, like niggas will approach them like they some Keisha or shit like that, and it's like, or that they on some feminist, strong, independent shit, trying to say that they're not what the women online complain about, even though my cousins aren't even doing the complaining. So they're on that shit. But and that's because the Black dudes are following the stereotypes. And they're approaching every Black woman with that. And the pygmies are sick of that shit.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Would you say that the sisterhood is kind of the same as the pink pill, or are they like two forces confused or whatever?
No, the pink pill is just like a spite thing. They're, like, I'm not really talking about swirlers, the women who do that. I'm talking about the women who interracially date, and, who just pretty much has it open to anybody and may the best man win no matter what race he is. That's what I'm talking about. I have no problem with chicks like that. No, the pink pill is just like Crystal and Karazin, who coined it. They're the ones who are doing it at spite. You see this shit. It'd be a chick that looked like Rihanna, and she's in the mall with a nigga that looked like George Costanza, and then she just she sees you and she starts hugging up on him and shit. Like, ooh, take a look at what you missing. Like, okay, you fucked your life up, and you think you made me jealous. Have at it. I mean, there is nothing you can say or do is gonna make me wish I was that nigga. By the way, I know y'all can't see me, but I don't look like George Costanza or George Shepard.
Okay.
But I mean, like do what you want, bitch. I don't care. But those are the pink pill chicks.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I mean, Nick, it's the high school sphere now, and I mean, it's just destroying the fan base. I mean, and meanwhile, like I said, we're just in the dust watching Stargate army being formed, and we're just here watching. This is,
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I would hope brothers just move on and shit, but we'll see, I guess.
Well, I mean, so we are moving on. There are just some that refuse to move on. So many brothers are getting the pretend benefits, from the status quo. They're getting the pretend benefits. I mean, I swear, like, and this is why it seems like high school to you, because this is when they were in high school. They're walking around like it's the 90s. They're D boys, and they're getting all the pussy that Nino Brown got. So I'm like, okay, you could pretend, but really, you're a nigga in his 40s that's gray as fuck. I mean, like, like, that's the reality, that really do look like George Costanza. Just saying, So Do that all you want to. The reality is the 90s is over. I haven't seen a crackhead in fucking decades. So what the fuck are you selling? Weed is legal, and white boys control the meth market, nigga. You are not that dude. Put your cap on forward and shut the fuck up. So yeah. But that's always gonna be the case. I try to ignore it the best I can, but sometimes this shit gets annoying.
Oh yeah, man, I feel you, man. I mean, last time I saw a crackhead, it was on GTA 5, so I feel you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, like dude, the whole D boy thing, the root word is boy.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is you? You a grown you a grown but hey.
I'm all I'm saying, man. I'm just saying let's pay attention to these Stargates. Let's just pay attention to the Stargate army, right? This is what we want, right? I mean, we've been going against the sisterhood for how long, So I just want brothers to follow what they're doing, because what they're doing, this, like I said, this is a matter of time. This is a matter of time. More channels are gonna come in here, like Sister George, Jessica X, and dnieka and shit, blow the fuck up. I know they're females, I get it, but still, I mean, we don't need to be doing this high school shit. Just saying.
You gotta understand, man. Like, women, they're gonna support each other. You know what I'm saying? Way faster than men support each other, because as men, we're quick to, especially if we don't know each other, we're quick to kind of try to compete with each other. You know what I'm saying? Whereas women, they just kind of stick together. You know what I'm saying? And they're able to get a whole lot more done than we could do. But I mean, like, I say, and another thing is, like, it's summertime and it's kind of slow, so it's not too many stories popping up that's like so exciting that we could talk about. So we just warm up these old topics, pick me, or how they say, Pookie and Ray Ray, Educated Lane. We just warm those back up, man, until the next day, until something worthwhile comes up to talk about. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it.
That's true. I try not to say nothing when I don't have nothing to say.
Yeah.
And I do understand that there's a financial incentive for a lot of dudes to keep a stream going, even though the talking point may not be pertinent, or even start beef, because that's a form of creating something to talk about, creating a little buzz. So I get
Making
it.
Something out of nothing. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But I mean, I get it. But the truth of the matter is, I have the money's great, and I appreciate every Cash App and Super Chat. Let's not get that twisted. But I came here with a different agenda, and as I always state, is to get Black men and women together, with the under a patriarchal family. It's happened for both. I seen it. Grandma's, I mentioned before, grandma's picked me, and she was much happier under this situation. And so was grandpa. Like, it worked. And then, to see my fathers and uncles go through divorce after divorce. So I know it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And I know it does work, and I have to say, and the women know it too. It's just too hard to go back. And that's why, see, Sister George, this is why I come up on your shit, because you have that one chick, Lady J, who be saying shit like cheating and beating and all this shit. No, it wasn't none of it. I mean, I'm not saying that it didn't exist, but feminism didn't stop it. It didn't stop it from happening either. Now they're just single, and every now and again they'll get a boyfriend and whip their ass. It's not, like, they're not even getting the benefit of the old timey ways. They're losing everything. So what she's doing is she's scaring them from patriarchy, when really that's what they want, both short term and long term.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly. That's like, listen, it's not perfect. By any means, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But just because it's not perfect, that don't mean that niggas is gonna start torturing you and treating you like Mister on some Color Purple shit. Come on, be reasonable. This is not the movies. We're not also drag a bitch by the hair shit, and throw her out because she turned 29. Like, come on, like when in history was that done on a mass scale? Like, so and that's why I come on your panel, Sister George, because what I see is I see women stating the old way. They're stating the old way and they're giving justification. Like, we're the old way because of this. And then you have the guys there who say, oh, I'm not that guy. So you could continue to be, a non pick me, and I will behave in the way that you are dictating to me. That's no, they're not helping the situation. And she don't want, and when I say she, I'm talking about the Miss J's and the other type of chicks that you have there, the quasi-feminist chicks, she don't want those kind of guys, or else she would have one, I mean, she wants my penis, but she's less worthy. And she knows it, like, because if you ain't fucking pick me, you ain't fucking shit. What's going on, Zero?
Not much. I just wanted to address a couple of things y'all was talking about earlier. As far as like Sister George's panel, I have less benevolent reasons why I watch it, but because I translate what's going on. GameChanger's using nicer words, but I mean, if I were to translate, it's basically just a bunch of dudes begging how can they get to the pussy?
Mhm.
Please tell us. Like
I be thinking it's because we're so much fun and we have so much fun, and that we have like these sparkling personalities that people enjoy. But
That
I be
too.
like, damn. Okay. Good.
So that too. But as far as like what Soul Provider was asking about, was kind of commenting about beef and stuff in the manosphere, like people basically being in high school permanently and shit, is because the men always challenge fuck shit. So if you're doing some fuck shit and that fuck shit is upsetting the balance of society, you have to call it out. And women are much less inclined to do that than men are. But when men do it, it's automatically going to start a rift. Right. And part of that problem is there's a lot of dudes in the space that want to maintain fake friendships. They know they don't believe what someone else believes, or they know they don't follow the same logic or the same. They don't have the same interests or goals at heart. Like, I mean, if you look around you, I don't know. I'm sure you're like new or whatever, but if you look around you, most of the dudes here, I mean, I'm not pulling this out of my ass. You just look around you and look at what they talk about. Most of them are just like, how can I get to the pussy by any means necessary? I don't really care about society or marriage and family and all this other shit that we talk about on here. I just want to come here and I'm either going to vent, negotiate, or talk about, or brag. So men are going to always have these problems because we can't get on the same page because of that. Like, there's no way to get on the same page when men keep having pussy being the obstacle. I mean, it's really that simple. Yeah. Pussy fuels the ego.
Ego. Yeah.
Yeah, you take pussy out of it, and men kind of like can check their egos and have a conversation.
Uh-huh.
One of the big reasons for all of the rifts in the manosphere is that once people,
I agree totally.
Once it got popular,
ego gets in the way of everything, man. I mean,
right? But they wanted,
well, like you said, if you
wanted women in the conversation,
you take pussy out of the table, or a woman in general. You know what I'm saying? Because that's usually what stirs up the beef.
Right, but
then
what
you really
I'm
wouldn't have
saying
any
is
problems.
they wanted women in the conversation, and when women got into the conversation,
not really, because
that's when,
I mean, we're always going to
started.
have like some kind of conflicts, but at the same time, I guess like this space is a space to kind of to say stuff you normally wouldn't say in real life to real people. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's just a forum. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good, man. I mean, I don't have anything good or bad to say about it. I really enjoy the manosphere. I support it. It's entertaining, you know what I'm saying? It's informative, and I believe that it's gonna, in time, it's gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? The younger cats are gonna see it. They're gonna tweak it and kind of make and just keep making it better, man. That's just the way I see life. It just progressively gets better. If
is this working?
Pointed towards that direction.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right,
yeah, go for
it. So I was
that's
trying
just
to
me.
finish. So basically, when men wanted women into the space, that's when they invited all of the rifts. That's what really caused it. It's not the women's fault. Men logically wanted to do this thing where we're talking about women, so we might as well talk to them. But as soon as they started talking to them, that's when all the dick swinging and ego started, and that's when all of the like beefs and forever high school shit started. I mean, it's really that simple.
Shit. Yeah, you're right. You know something? You're right.
Well, I had a question.
Yeah, go
Do
for it.
y'all think more channels that are like male centered would be the solution?
No, because they're going to repeat. It's going to repeat the cycle.
And
What do
let's
you mean male centered? Because this is male centered. I mean, quality of women and women.
No, I'm saying that you have certain channels that are strictly basically for men. Like a MOT's channel is basically for men. He doesn't allow a lot of women to get up there. But y'all have conversations that y'all are not normally having with women. Y'all talk about deeper issues. Y'all talk about things that women aren't interested in. And I was thinking maybe that's the solution.
Right. So what you just said about talking about things that women aren't interested in, if that's part of the problem, then that's a female problem. You don't join the space if you're not interested in what dudes are talking about.
But what the hell, Ms. Jordan? I mean, like, do anybody talk about what women are interested in the manosphere? Because that's what game is. My bad.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, going to MOT's channel, and
Okay.
let's say MOT is talking about trucking, he's talking about tech, he might be talking about business and policies and shit that women just aren't going to talk about on a regular basis. We're not really interested in stuff like that. The relationship shit, we love to talk about shit like that.
Okay, what you're doing right now is a redirection of the conversation. You don't have to be interested in it. That's the thing. You for you to come in and want to be interested in what men are talking about, that's a choice. If you come in and you're like, I'm not interested in that, you guys should talk about this, that's a you problem. Like you see where I'm going with this? And MOT doesn't really disallow women. He just doesn't allow fuck shit. Like for instance, what you just did would be like a reason to drop you down. Like you understand what I'm saying?
Not really, because I'm looking at it. Okay, you got a lot of women into the space. Women basically are going to come in on the conversations as it pertains to relationships, dating, shit like that, right?
Yep.
But we don't talk about it from the same standpoint that you guys talk about it. And so I was wondering, and I'm just saying, like, I'm wondering, is that the solution? Like, to have more spaces that are basically male-centered, more toward the men. The women don't have as much of a voice in those conversations. I don't know. I was just throwing something down.
We just tried that. It's called the Black Manosphere.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Okay. So let's get the likes up, people, to counteract the, I don't know, I guess it's brotherhood or sisterhood or somebody's just, hitting.
Now you got a lot of haters. I mean, it was really that simple.
Yeah. I have noticed it, but I don't know why, personally.
Same answer as always, pussy.
God damn it.
Well, that ship has sailed, so I mean, if y'all think I'm fucking YouTubers anymore, that ship has sailed. So
Zero, I got a question. You've been in the manosphere for
1 second, not even that game changer. So when you went on Sister George's panel, I think it was maybe a week or two ago, and you were talking about submission, right? And you were talking about how it's unconditional because the dudes were up there negotiating how submission is supposed to be and allowing the women to basically dictate how submission is supposed to be. All of that shit is part of that. And I think you came up there again, and I think a couple of days ago, and was talking about something else and basically addressing the men on the panel that were basically doing bullshit logic. It's not really the past history like you're talking about with that other shit. It's more like recent stuff. This isn't that's more past shit. I'm talking about more recent shit.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. So I do hold men to a certain level of discipline and standards that they should hold themselves to. I do preach that, and yeah, I probably get some hate for that. In fact, almost definitely do. So
well, I mean, because if you jump up there addressing dudes, they're gonna be like, "This nigga trying to tell me what to do,"
or who to do, yeah,
right,
and who needs to do, yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm not trying to do. I'm just saying, like, listen. If you sell, who's a good basketball? Who's an if you have like a Michael Jordan rookie card, and I see you selling it for like $5 and it's mint condition, I'm like, look, you selling the shit short. I'm helping you. And if you look at that as like you trying to get me out of $5, then I'll just step the fuck away.
You pocket checking. Don't worry about how much my card costs.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to help you out. But men, a lot of you are worth more than you're selling yourselves for. And your dignity is worth more. So, and many of you, not all, but many of you do deserve submission. But most importantly, what I'm protecting you against is that she's gonna leave you anyway. Like when they're not in a submissive state, they just get jaded with these fucking yes men or yes women. They're not happy in that shit, and that's what dnieka was talking about. That's what dnieka was saying. She understands. Like, look, you get and Jessica too. They were saying that women aren't happy with these guys. I'm really trying
God,
to.
you guys saw me? I like
It's not your forehead.
Anyway, my bad, Sister George. You asked something else because I'm finna go.
I was gonna ask, were there more problems or less problems in the space since the women have become more involved?
Yeah, way more problems. But it's not. Again, it's niggas just trying to figure out who's gonna get the most bitches. No, I'm serious. Like, it sounds funny when I say it, but
no, I'm laughing because I know you're right. That's the sad part about it, man. I know you're right. I mean, I see it. And
yeah, and like y'all were talking about earlier, the chicks that coming in are gonna get younger and younger and younger, and that's just gonna fuel more fuck shit. So
that's what I was saying. I mean, imagine the next 10 Sister Georges and 10 Jessica X's and Melodies and dniekas. I mean, this is going to be some interesting shit to see. I mean, I'm just going to have my popcorn and just watch, I guess. I mean,
well, O'Shea was right. There's going to be a separation. It's necessary. You're not going to have a choice. You can't have two competing ideologies in a society. It doesn't work. So, I mean, Black society is no different. One of them's going to win out.
Yeah, I think this separation is needed. Like I said, I want to hear different fucking voices, man. Like, shit, I'm tired of hearing same old voices. I want to hear some new shit.
And by the way, catering the pussy never works out. You can ask any society that has ever fallen down.
Exactly. Starting with Adam and Eve. Like,
right.
It's, listen, if it worked, my grandfather wouldn't have, did the whole death till you do you part shit. While my fathers and uncles went through, I think, like 10 divorces between all of them. Like, come on now. Like, we know what works and what doesn't work. And this new, I mean, we're a generation ahead. We should learn from the mistakes. It's like, listen, the boomers, they tried something and the shit didn't work, Like, if there was like these successful, successful fucking hyphenated marriages out there everywhere, then that'd be one thing, but it's not. It's not. When the fuck successful relationship begins with a bitch hyphen in her name? Like, it's the shit's retarded, So, I mean, our thing, I already said it. All right, never mind. But it's stupid. Melanie, what's going on? Are you gonna hyphenate your name?
All right, y'all.
All right, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I get you.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing.
Hey, I hope y'all didn't see me. I look a mess.
They're saying forehead, but
you saw your forehead.
That was said he was drooling, so maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was something else round.
No, I was just a little nervous, but I just got in. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I wanted to come up. What's going on?
Oh, we were doing a follow-up on the Jessica X dnieka back and forth or exchange or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah, I loved it. They both were on point. They both had like great talking points. Like you don't see a lot of women like them, and I just love seeing women who's more like me, that think more like me. Hold on. I'm sorry. My dog is chewing up my shoe. Stop.
Yeah, no worries. But Sister George, well, not really Sister George. Okay, yeah, you. But I won't ask you to answer for yourself because you're engaged. Um, but generally speaking, from your perception perspective, do the relationships last when the men just surrender unconditionally to modern womanism or whatever you want to call it?
No, no.
Like,
I think most women want to be dominated by their male counterparts.
exactly, and that's all I've been saying from day one. And and you're right, sister. To your credit, I have gotten more pushback from the brothers than the sisters. And it's all kinds. Like, no, they don't want that. They want some nice shoes. Like, what the fuck? Like, So it is shit like that. I mean, yeah, it is problematic. I didn't know that it was that deep. I thought that my particular message, even though it hasn't changed since I began, would resonate more with men. But I do find that it's a surprising amount of women who agree with the message. Now, there is a certain amount of perceived security that comes with feminism and sisterhood and shit like that. There is a certain amount of perceived security that comes with being with a guy who is afraid to leave, who will never do anything to disappoint you. And I get that, but um, a lot of women just don't want that.
GC, I don't think you do. I don't know. I don't. When you never mind, because it never mind.
Go for
But
it. Go.
I'm just saying, like, when you're dealing with people who have abandonment issues and never really had men to stick up for them and be there and be around, um, in certain senses, because I'm not talking about the protection versus non-protection thing, but and to a certain aspect of that, you kind of enter a space with strangers. Most of us don't know each other like that. Now we can get to watch each other over time and kind of figure out who each other are, but we don't know each other like that. So when it comes down to these spaces, I don't really expect anybody to put themselves on the line. So, on my behalf. So it's like, I have to do what I have to do.
So that's it. I mean, they feel that they go to the sisterhood because they feel that the men will leave them. And do you feel that the sisterhood offers adequate protection against guys leaving them?
I'm not gonna necessarily say it's adequate protection, but well, it's not adequate for me. But for me, I'm a different type of woman. But for other women, yeah, I think a lot of women do feel more protected by certain groups of women. I think that.
Okay, here's the thing. The sisterhood, the only way it protects you from men leaving is because you don't get them in the first place. Like, real talk, I mean, that's all it costs. I mean, making yourself, because okay, presenting your worst self, which is part of what the sisterhood does. Presenting your worst self um, will mean that you are getting a man of diminished standards, and men of this diminished standards are far less likely to leave, or cheat or anything like that, because they're not out there on the top of their game, looking at getting googly eyes from the college chicks. That's not you know that's not those dudes. These dudes are just happy to have something warm in their bed, so they're far less likely to leave. But you get fewer and fewer of these guys as time passes, and then you just it works to your disadvantage, and that's why you have the low marriage rates and things like that. And also, while I have you here, and then this is a slight segue, do the collective of Black women feel that we're not physically attracted to you? feel that black men aren't physically attracted to black women?
Yeah, yeah. But it becomes it. I think it's coming down to what's promoted in the programming of everybody, and so when you start to see this shit on every time you turn on social media, it's the light skinned girl with the nice hair or whatever, whatever, and then when you have viral videos of like dark skinned women being into fights with men and running over niggas and shit like that, um, it's like I feel like there's a big push to divide each other, to divide us. And so a lot of black women, and especially the darker ones, oh, black men just want these old light skinned pretty bitches with the nice hair. No, these niggas don't like dark skinned women, and they don't like natural hair. And then you know how like it's kind of like the manosphere. Like if a guy goes through a certain amount of experiences, he thinks that's the norm. And then if he can find a group of men that's gone through these same experiences, that's what it is, you know. And so they kind of perpetuate that. And
Mhm.
so women will have a couple of bad experiences with men, and or they'll see men who big up like light skinned women, but they'll totally ignore guys who like, no, I love dark skinned women. Oh, I love da 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 da. And I, you know, we're weird like that. Fucked up. Real
Well,
fucked
yeah, and I noticed that with the talk I had with Rashida Strober and you know the subsequent songs and shit like that. I do notice that, but the things that you mentioned, like the behavior, you know, as depicted on World Star Hip Hop, for example, and shit like that. These are things that you all have control over. See, what I worry about is that black women believe that we wouldn't like them at their best. You know, like I'm seeing that mentality from the women I talk to, like interpersonally, less and less. I'm starting to see that wane, which is a good thing. But you know, I most black men, even like the ones like Tommy Sotomayor, and you know, even the ones who really go in hard, like O'Shea, or not O'Shea, Obsidian. You know, even those types, they're not on some we would reject you at your best, or they're not even on some we would reject you all things equal. And I think that that's another driver to the sisterhood. I really do.
But when
And
you
that's what I
have a
want.
space like the manosphere who calls out, but the problem is nobody has called black women on their shit ever until now. And
Right.
so when you have the women who have never been called on their shit being called on their shit, then it's like they hate us. They can't stand us. They're mad
Mhm.
at us. They don't like us. They want these women, but these women have had these opportunities, this, that, and the third. And so it kind of just creates a fucked up cycle because you have a group of women that think that a lot of the men hate us. A lot of us think that black men can't stand us, and then it's like the darker we are, the less feminine we're considered. And so women carry a lot of that shit around and carry a lot of that baggage around. And like I said, if they have a couple of bad experiences, then it becomes niggas ain't shit. Black
Mhm.
men ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Um, yeah, I could see that too. And I definitely agree with what you were saying that no one has ever caught them on their shit before because if a white person were to do it, they can just claim racism and dismiss what they say. And if a black man were to do it, they can just say sexism or
Exactly
misogyny.
right. Exactly
And
right.
yeah, so yeah, nobody would ever do that. It's kind of like, firing a gay person. Um, that's, it's a world of shit, especially if they're, gay, black, and, I don't know, female or something like that. If they have three of them. So I get it, and it's kind of like telling like a soccer kid, that's been getting participation trophies, their whole life, you fucking loser. It's just like when they get to adulthood, somebody calling them a loser. Like, it's like, or they get fired or shot down. It's like they're not really used to an accurate depiction of what's going on because
and then
nobody
we
was
take everything and personalize it, because you do have some men that'll call you out on your shit. And then the men aren't very nice when they call you out on your shit. It's like, look, bitch, this is what you did, and this is where you fucked up at, and you need to get that shit together. And then it's like, Black women have been coddled forever.
Right.
Everybody's, oh baby, you're dark skinned, so these things happen, and you just gotta da 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 da, and that's okay. I know you done had 5 babies by 5 different men, and that's okay because you're a strong woman, and it was these niggas' fault that you done had all these kids. And like I said, nobody's called us on our shit. So then when you have a generation of men that's starting to call us on our shit, it's like, what the fuck? These niggas hate us. These niggas ain't shit. They was part of the problem. And there we go.
We're colorist, and yeah, it's this shit's funny. But no, we just want a behavior change, and we're honest, about it now. I mean, and especially guys, who control their sexual desires. You're not going to be forthcoming with a woman that you want to sleep with, and calling her out on her shit. So, and if you want to sleep with every woman, then you're just going to be one of those guys that walk around telling women what they want to hear. And it's so many of these guys in the community that it reinforces, the spoiled narcissism that already exists because of society. So yeah, I mean, I agree. We have a lot of work to do, but progress is being made. I do see like a collapse of the old paradigm, or the old guard, so to speak. And this isn't just from Black men. This is also from white society as well. They're being less tolerant of behavior that's just intolerable, which before they would get away with because of white guilt. Now and this is to Black men as well. Now they're just like, look, I don't have to put up with this shit. We've been nice since emancipation. Keep fucking around. So there are some changes. I'm not going to say that's necessarily good, but there are some changes in the behavior of the younger people that I have noticed. So I will give Black women that. But I'm going to ask you this, and then I'm going to go to Azen, because you brought up something that happened in my personal life that I found peculiar. And so a woman that I was talking to, and I swear this chick, okay, just a side note. Ladies, I don't give a fuck about your I hate it. I hate it when, like, within the first paragraph of talking to you, you mention your goddamn degree. Especially since I have one. But even if I didn't, I wouldn't give a shit. So this chick with an anthropology degree, she's like, no. Highly intelligent, successful brothers want women with degrees. They want their match. Like, I don't think that that's as high on the priority as other. And I kept explaining it to her, and she wouldn't listen. I'm like, how in the fuck are you gonna tell me what I want? Or with brothers like that, you would have to have that brother there wanting it, and you would have to but I know what I want. What the fuck? So that shit was frustrating. Then she tells me about her friend. Now, and she was talking about insecurity. She said that her friend was insecure when she was younger, but now that she's older, in her 30s, and she has 3 kids, she's more selective and she's demanding more from guys. I'm like, wait a minute. She's demanding more from a woman in her 30s with children than she was as a woman in her 20s without children. I could not make sense of that mentality, and I still can't. Now, many people don't know that some of the shit I say here, I say in real life. So I did the whole bullshit. Y'all know how I do it. I'm out of breath, so I'm not going to do it now. But I did the whole bullshit thing. But I mean, is that an actual thing? And if so, please explain the thinking behind that.
Okay. So with us, There aren't a lot of things in this physical world that Black women can honestly be successful at outside of being like a wife and mother and shit like that, right? So
Mhm.
men can do an assortment of things. You know what I'm saying? And and get accolades for it, right?
Mhm.
Not to say that women can't, but so women will get, let's just say she ends up with a successful career and she does end up with an education. In her mind, a lot of women think that men want to be this power couple. We have kind of grown up in like this boss bitch age where chicks are making $80,000-$90,000 a year. They can afford to get their own houses. Then they fuck a couple of guys that got some status or something, or they've been with a couple of guys that got some status or something. They were able to go and do some nice things. And so when she comes to the table with her degree, she does think that she can actually bring value to the relationship. She does think that that does equate to some value in the relationship. Now, I do understand that a lot of women did get their degrees in a lot of bullshit subjects and majors and shit like that. I get that. But
Mhm.
um in her mind, she's still better than a woman without a degree because she's feeling that it's required to make money, like to get a really good job. A lot of good jobs require women to have degrees, or people to
Yeah.
have degrees. And
True.
so she gets this good job and she's making her $60,000, $70,000 a year. She
Mhm.
feels that she actually does have something to bring to the table. Now she's not counting her femininity, her submission. She's not counting that because she's thinking like she's just that anyway. You know, most women, if you ask most women think that they're feminine.
Holy
Most.
shit. For real?
Ask. Go around and ask. Most women think that they're feminine. Most. And so when you have people that haven't told you, or that the behaviors are still being enabled because the men are still fucking them.
Mhm.
And let's say you got a businesswoman and she's making this amount of money. She might dress feminine. Um, she might get her hair, nails, and shit done all the time. She might be able to keep a clean house, but she might want to be dominant over the male. But in her mind, she's thinking that she's feminine because she dressed feminine. She may not curse a whole lot. You know, it's certain aspects of femininity that women have, but they think that that's the whole package. And being that men will still fuck them, um, it's a sort of sense of validation because the man was attracted to her looks. The man may compliment her on her mannerisms or some shit. She's thinking that she's a totally feminine woman. And nobody has told her, okay, well, you're a backbiter. I don't have peace when I'm around you. You're always nitpicking at some shit. You're too fucking nosy. You don't know when to shut the fuck up. You always in somebody's goddamn business. You don't really cook that good. You might cook here and there, but you're not really a good cook. You don't really clean it well. You don't really clean the baseboards and shit. You don't really know
Well,
how to rear children.
well,
Um,
women
you
do.
think you're supposed to
Women
run
do have
everything,
something.
and men have put up with that shit, so it's enabled a lot of the behavior. So,
I
but she's
agree.
still thinking that she's a feminine woman, and
I
so
agree.
she
And that's
comes
why I
with her
appreciate
degree
everything.
and all of her bells and whistles, and she thinks that she's better than the chick who doesn't have a degree because she has a degree. She drives a Lexus. She thinks she's the shit.
So,
Nobody's telling her any different.
so ladies, just so you know, men who are driven, part of the drive of a man to be successful is to provide for his family, meaning that he sees less value in your provisions, and also the more he makes, the less he really cares about what you make. A lot of men are, especially the ones who are higher earners, really look at relationships as what's mine is ours and what's yours is yours, meaning he really don't give a shit whether you make 80, 90, or 100K, because that's yours. Now, there are relationships where that money is for the woman and the kids, and his income is primarily for the future of the family. But yeah, it's not as important as you think, and especially, well, here, let me just respond to dnieka. Dnieka, welcome. We spoke before. I was reviewing one of your things before, but yeah, so what we're talking about now, I'm doing a follow-up on the show that you just did with Jessica X, and it was a great stream. So you may not notice this is a new channel. I ordered your book and I'm going to review it, but what can I say? I've been getting a lot of flack lately from a lot of men, like Obsidian, but not really Obsidian in particularly, from other men for allowing women on my panel to discuss male issues. Now, I do believe that pygmies are should be encouraged, and the reason why they should is because in the Black community, they're often shunned by women who follow the strong, independent trope, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, because of that, I want to make my space a space that's safe for women who identify as pygmy, because I'm not going to be a part of any system where women who values a man who puts value in a man's opinion is getting negative feedback from both the men and the women of society. I can't really do that. So, and yeah, as a result, I've been getting a lot of hits from men, lately. So yeah. So, and like he says, Angry Man has been hating on me. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of negative flack. So we were talking about that, and the conversation evolved into discussions about how much men value a woman's education, degree, and shit like that, because a lot of women lead with that, and that's not necessarily what we value. We would rather a woman, like if a woman has A's on her chest, we don't care if she has it on her report card. Now, if she has D's on her chest, we still don't care if she has it on her report card. Like that's just the way the man's mind works. Now, Sister George, you were asking, what do these women bring to the table, with or without a degree? Bring food to the table. Bring food to the table. I mean, like, bring us a sandwich. Like, just show your femininity. I mean, I wish more sisters would realize that. I mean, and I know that there's a lot of, indoctrination and stuff like that, like this is what a Black woman is supposed to be. We all seen like the mammy stereotype and the strong Black woman thing from like, what's that show? Family Matters, the wife on Family Matters and stuff. It's like, oh, we supposed to be this way. It's like, no, you're not. Not only is it unnatural for you to be that way, it's repulsive to the men that you actually want. You want to embrace a certain type of men, and these men are here in this space telling you what we want. We're telling the women, like, this is what we want. It's like, well, education. I'm like, look, it's not going to work against you, but it's not going to work for you in the sense that you believe. It's just not. But I've been taking the mic. Azen, what's on your mind?
What's going on, everyone? What's going on? The first thing that I wanted to bring up, I was riding earlier listening. I didn't get a chance to check out the stream from earlier with Jess and dnieka, but I'm gonna do the replay, catch the replay. Okay. The first thing was the address on the hate, the dislikes, and everything. My thing is it's an even amount of both from the men and the women. One on the end, the end covering both. The simple fact is neither wants things to actually change. Shit is fucked up. It's what they know, and that's how they like it. They like the fucked up situation. Two, the men that are not quality, that are the hood, pretty much the niggas, and the women that are just for the split to actually happen, that means they have no place to actually go. They're left in the shit, and that means that quality individuals, quality men, have left them to lay in it and they have to actually do some work to clean their own shit up, and neither of them wants to do that.
That's true. We have
yes.
created a haven for unproductive men and unattractive women. The Black community has become a haven for those type of individuals.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Go ahead.
And then on the end with the women, here's the thing. Sister George, Melody, you know, they've seen me around. They know what I say. I'm pretty consistent in what I say. The simple fact is that my thing is that all women are like that. And here is the reason why. Because the simple fact, if you ask them to put up all the privileges that feminism has given them, the privilege of no-fault divorce, to be able to clean a man out, the privileges of child support, the privileges of getting all these high-paying jobs and positions without actually having to earn them, just getting them because of affirmative action and all these different other privileges. None of them would be willing to put them up to actually go under the rulership of a man as it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
You're exactly right, Azen. Exactly right. And I've been saying that for a while.
I asked that question yesterday. Remember, Sister George? I asked her straight up yesterday, would you sacrifice the benefits of feminism for a man? You know,
I would.
I know. I know
would.
You would.
But what I'm saying is most women, so then if you have the majority of the women that are single, then you have a majority of women that's playing the fucking survival of the fittest. This is the fucking Hunger Games. Hell no, they ain't gonna fight against their own interests. The men are saying, bitch, you too crazy. You're not feminine. You won't submit. You won't cooperate. Fuck you. I'm going to get me somebody else. Right?
Right.
The women are like, these niggas are saying that they leaving us. What the fuck am I gonna do? No, they're not gonna fight against their own interests. Ain't nobody coming to save us. Nobody's coming to save, well, them, because shit, I'm out. But nobody's coming to save them.
Right.
And here's the thing. Because of the simple fact that women said that they didn't need no fucking man, she's strong, she can do all this shit. Why is one supposed to save you?
You know what?
Why?
Nobody was necessarily supposed to save them, but at the same token, if we looking at the community how it is now, it's in a fucking disarray. And it's steadily going on a decline. It's not getting any better. We're steadily going on a decline. Bitches are alone, lonely, miserable, depressed. A lot of them deal with mental and emotional fucking issues. It's some fucking shambles. Then we're raising all these fucking I can't even get off into it, but it's a mess. And when you don't have the money, when you know, so I can even say that that's basically how I got my job. I beat out a man because I'm a woman and I'm a Black woman, so that gave me a preference over.
You are a double minority, and if you got a kid, you're a triple minority.
Well, I didn't have.
I didn't say you did. I'm just saying if that's the case.
Yeah, but yeah, I got my job over a guy because I was a woman and I was Black. So yeah, most women are not going to fight against their own interests, especially
none are.
No, you're right.
But they're arguing in their interest. A return to traditionalism is fighting for their best interests.
But they don't see the benefit of it, especially since the men are like, fuck this, they're out. The men are tired.
Sister George, that's not why they will not see the benefit of it. They cannot see the benefit of it because the simple fact that men have not actually left out.
Well, do you?
See, I'm gonna bring it to you. Here's the thing: if the men actually left out, if they didn't have nobody that's gonna pay no bills, if they didn't have nobody that was gonna take them out on these free dinners, knowing damn well the nigga that's got her pregnant is gonna be fucking her later on, if they were not giving her free attention that she did not deserve, was unwarranted, then whenever that shit happened and they have to actually take care of their own, then that's whenever the shit gets so bad where they like, hey, look, we gonna give up everything we can to get this shit back. And then that's whenever you got to say, hey, look, we got only way we gonna do it is if you got to give up the vote. Plain and simple. But niggas ain't gonna do that.
You damn right about that.
I mean, I wouldn't even mind if they didn't give up the legal portion of it. Just don't do it. Just show us that, yes, you do have these powers under the law, but choose not to use it.
Game changer. It's like giving the keys to the damn candy store to a child and expecting them not to ransack and eat up all the candy. That shit ain't happening.
Well, it requires amount of strength and discipline, and that's
Women don't have that.
But see, that's why I give pygmies so much credit, because they do.
They don't either. I'm telling you. Because here's the thing. Like we agreed on about the fact that none of them are going to give up privileges that they have been afforded through the vote. That's showing that they won't do it.
Well, I mean, pygmies are of a different type, and that's probably why they're a lot more rare. Or they're not as rare as we think. It's just that the outspoken ones are rare. The ones who actually speak out against the sisterhood are rare versus, But I think that a lot of women, if not most, even Black women, are dormant pygmies. Now, a lot of the sisterhood stuff that they do is really like a shit test, like them testing a man's mettle to see, like if he's worthy of submission. So I get that aspect of it, but yeah, I know I'm an optimist, But hey,
yeah, you are
listening today though on dnieka's panel, like it can't be, I mean, it's not impossible. Listen. I've been a square nerd dude my whole life, so and I'm not really into like non-pygmy chicks. So I know that they exist. Now they exist, and this is my bad for being on some player shit in my youth. They do start to exist in in declining numbers as you get older, and especially if you're dating women your own age, and that's. Well, and that's because, like I always say, if you spend your 20s spitting humility, is that you?
Probably.
Here,
having problems.
All right, I'm gonna keep that second left. And this is what I say to the fellas: if you spend your 20s shitting on women, don't be surprised that if you're 30s, you come across a lot of shitty women. Like, I found out the hard way. My fucking boomer parents didn't tell me otherwise. So, that is what it is, but they do exist, and believe it or not, fellas, I'm gonna keep it real. I know I told this story before. They don't start off this way. And this is probably because I'm Gen X, but like when and I'm talking about the ones that they complain about, the sisterhood chicks or the stereotypical ratchet. They don't start off that way. Something is happening, like that will make a man say, wait a minute, these are not the same girls on the double dutch. Like these aren't the same girls I grew up with. I don't know what turned girls like this into women like this, but something happened there, and it's largely like society's influence, and it's largely like older women influencing them. But there's a lot going on there. But know that they're not innately like that. And some women do it. And I know I sound like a track hunter or whatever you want, unicorn believer. Yeah. But, it does exist in larger quantities the younger you are. So don't ignore it. I wouldn't tell a dude to just go to Brazil and just ignore pygmy that's local. I'd say go to Brazil if you haven't found a local unicorn. I mean, absolutely.
And on my point, I don't believe in unicorns other than what I've seen in cartoons. Mm-hmm. To me, it does not matter whether or not you leave outside of the country, because of the simple fact, it is in their nature to. Women are very savage. It's in their nature to do whatever they think that they can for what's best for them. So any opening that they take, I mean, and if they see that their way through it is to cut you down to get higher, they will do it. If it's there, if they see it's there. And here's my thing. My pops was old. He's an old man. He was born in 1920. He died when I was young. So we really never got to have a discussion like this. We probably never would have, because we're both pretty stubborn and It just wouldn't happen. But the older I've gotten, the more I found out a lot of older people tell me that I think a lot like him. And the one thing that he said was that all of these women are like that. If they were like that and he was born in 1920s then, the only difference is that there's just more widespread. There's more of them now, and the laws have given them the power to actually flex that muscle that they have.
That's one way to look at it. There's another way to look at it.
GameChanger, can I say this?
Right quick, Vision, right quick. And then Melody, and then you, I promise. All right. So that's one way to look at it. I look at it like this. Women being submissive will always submit to the most dominant force in their life. Or their own desire to find that dominant source. Now, it used to be the church or maybe even the government or something like that. But at least when it was the church of Jesus that kept them in line, because the church tells them to submit to men. So yeah, that's a lot of what you're seeing. But what we're seeing now is not necessarily their nature, it's them submitting to what society at large is telling them to submit to. See, they're still submitting, they're just submitting to society. Society is telling them to be uber consumers. So, and manipulative and shit like that. They're not doing anything that they haven't seen on Sex and the City. Like they're not doing anything that they haven't seen on some bullshit. But Melody, go for it. Okay, Vision.
What up? I gotta run. Whoa, what is that?
Okay,
somebody's eating. That's not me. But there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Well, I can't talk with that going on then.
Yeah, no, go for it. Go for it, Vision.
No, I'm just gonna say this quickly. I'm sure you guys are aware of King Sigma, right? He's talked about this, about the dynamics of certain aspects of what Black females do. So up here again, I live in an integrated society. I live in an area where it's dominated by other cultures, predominantly European cultures. Doesn't matter what they are. Let's just say white, just for lack of a better term. And the high value Black women here, like the educated, they got everything together. They look like they got everything right. They got the money, they got the education, they got the great job, they got life figured out and all that stuff. There's a crutch for them. There's always that white dude that they can always go for because he's supposed to be Mr. Perfect. That there's an image that the white man is perfect, which is far from the truth. So they run to that. So what I'm noticing where I'm at, and I'm gonna have to change my environment, is they're not gonna change in the West, is what I'm trying to say. Like it's a good thing that we're having these topics because a lot of these things our fathers didn't teach us. But I am starting to realize personally that these Black women, no disrespect to the women on the panel, if you're pick-me, that's good for you, Sister George. Congratulations on your engagement. Yeah, you need to get the hell out. But
thank you so much.
Yeah, if you can get a husband this day and age, it's pretty impressive. Or if you can get a wife. But I just don't see most of these women changing. GameChanger. It's media, it's programming, and there's no incentive for them to change. So I support Eisen and I support King Sigma. What you say?
Okay, I appreciate you.
I also support. I know. I also Angry Man is talking about it today too. He's also right about it as well. There's a historical context to this, man. The slavery, it's over. Yes, slavery, colonialism. Some kind of social programming was put in their mind, and there is no reversing it. It's gonna take generations. So hopefully, this next generation has it figured out. And what's happening is the young men just gotta date out. And when I say date out, get with other cultures, man. And then same thing. On this side, the women just leave, go get with other cultures, because where I'm at, they like their white boys, whether they're perfect or not. Peace.
Okay, and that's more of the propaganda. You see, they weren't born that way. Okay, so here's the deal, and I noticed this right after that Cheerios commercial that featured I don't know if I'll get dinged for this, so I'll just say a mixed girl. And a white wife and a Black father. That's gotten a lot of pushback. And what was discovered after that is that there's no societal pushback for interracial relationships if it's a Black woman and a white man. Now, interracial relationships, as far as commercials and advertising and things like that, does is it allows the advertiser to appeal to two different demographics at once. If you show a married, if you're selling, if you're K jewelers, and you're selling wedding rings or engagement rings, then you want to show an interracial couple because black people will look at it and white people will look at it. Where if it's just white on white, then you're just appealing to one thing. You have to do a separate black on black one. So it makes sense why they're doing it, and why they're doing it more now with the women than men. With the woman being the black one than the men, because nobody's pushing back on that. Not white women and not black men. So it makes sense why they're doing this. I think that a byproduct of that is what Vision was describing just now. And I mean, that's okay too. That's just things happen. It's going to be a side effect of it. You can't really escape it. Personally, I think that Americans consume too much TV and shit.
I do agree there.
Yeah, and that's why we're so easily changed. But it's hard to say by modern standard what a natural woman or a man is, because we're being programmed by unnatural means. So, like, who's to say how they would behave if you actually turned off outside influence? Well, we do see that. I mean, this is Amish. It's not like the Amish has like a random generation of ratchet fat ass bitches.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, you get away from all of this fucked up influence, and you will see their true nature. And it's not what we're seeing here.
People watching too much Love and Hip Hop. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Love and hip hop. I mean, like, I seen this shit. I seen the imprinting on shows as early as the Jefferson.
Yeah.
Like, so they've been putting this in people's heads for a while.
Yeah, I can't really think of a black entertainment TV show where there's pretty much a dominant male.
Exactly.
Where there was a female involved, anyways. I mean, can't really count Sanford and Son because it was just Fred and Lamont. So
damn, and I was gonna say Pimp My Ride, but that was just Exhibit.
Exactly.
A male auto body shop.
I really sat around one day and tried to think of a show that was like male dominated, and it's so crazy because now I watch TV different. Y'all done fucked my head up because I'd be like, look at this matriarch, and I'd be like, look at this shit.
Right?
It's always existed.
Sister, you
always.
You look at TV differently since the space, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, like, I stopped watching. Like, I stopped watching Blackish. I stopped watching what's it called, Watchmen. Like, there's a lot of stuff that when you look into it, it's like, man, this is the most. I don't even think I watch any black shows.
Right.
P-Valley. That's about it. But yeah, it's gotten bad. But Melody, you're saying, I'm about to go. I have another show in like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, this was an impromptu, but I have another show in 30 minutes. I'm gonna give myself something to eat before then.
Right.
Okay, so she's gone. She has a real bad connection.
Yeah. I guess before you go, I just wanted to say, I know you had brought up a quote about Adam and Eve earlier. The whole premise of this story was actually to teach, because of the simple fact that Adam and Eve were the only two created in the Bible, because it is a familial book by all rights. The only two created without the knowledge of evil. The only thing they knew was good, but because of the simple fact they didn't know evil, they could not actually know good at the time. But moving forward, the premise of it was to actually teach two things. One, that the simple fact is that given the opportunity for a woman to advance further than a man, further than her station, she's going to take it every time. She actually seeks to actually gain dominance over her authority, her authoritative figure. Which is why when you get to the punishment that's laid out, the God even said it there so Adam could hear it, that when he laid it out, that she would desire for a man to actually rule over her. She would only desire the man who rules over her, and he is to do as such. He said that so he would understand what his position was as well too. But given the opportunity to do so, a woman is going to choose to buck that authority every time to gain power. But the simple fact is that when she does so, she will not have satisfaction. She will not be content unless she is actually ruled over by a man. That's all I got.
True. Would you embrace this, or then I'm gonna go?
Okay.
I got some keys to stroke, and then
right,
and then I'm gonna eat and then start a new show. But would it be safe to say that she was still submitting to at least a male in the form?
No. When she ate that fruit, GameChanger, she ate it because the serpent told her that if she ate it, she would be like God. And we know that women never see themselves as equal to men. Truly, they only see one or two things. Either they are less or greater than. She ate of it to become. She saw that if her eyes were open like God, that she would be able to manipulate him and gain control of everything.
Then why did she give the fruit to Adam?
Because once she it's the simple thing of like what you don't know how good you had it until it's gone. So she gave it to him to go down with her.
Okay, I get what
misery loves company.
I get what you're saying. I don't care. I see what you're saying, but I don't care because listen, just like kids want to eat, sugar and sweets and shit like that. And even though it's not the best things for them, it doesn't change that it's in their nature to do that. Right. I won't hold it against them for wanting, to take some cookies out the cookie jar.
Right, right. No, I got you there.
However, you function better and you are best suited to be under adult rulership. Right. One that loves you. But no, I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah. And my whole point was just to bring light to that point, not so much to hold it against anybody, you know what I'm saying, but to actually, that way people can understand that it's always going to happen. That's all.
Right. No, I hear you. But I'm about to close out, so you have any closing words? I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Right, I'll be back. I'll be back in here to listen then. But yeah, that's all I have for my closing.
Okay, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Remember, I know your connection is
I think your connection is bad, but thanks for having me. Hopefully I can make your other show.
Okay. But, just find out what that is. It's probably like the headset you're using or something. I don't know.
No, it's this phone. My other phone is like messed up. I dropped it, so I'm using the broken phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's why I cammed up by mistake earlier because it's like different. This phone is different, so yeah. I hope you guys can't see anything. I look crazy today.
I guess you could screen it. You could screen for it and see what happens.
Huh?
I said I guess I could screen for it and see what happens. That's no problem.
I can't hear you, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some food. But I was gonna say I could next time you come up, I'll screen for it. I'll give you some time before I let you on because I know your phone is messing up. I don't want you to get canned or anything. Okay.
Yeah, she probably put in the chat.
Yeah. I'll hit you on Hangout. I'll hit you on Hangout, Melody.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. All right. But that being said,
later.
Oh, wait a minute. I have a Cash App. My bad. I always get a super fast, but I missed the Cash App, so I got it this time. All right. So, Azen, I appreciate you. You said you sent me money to the stream. I appreciate you. All right. So that being said, I'd like to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats. I'd like to thank the managers and moderators. I'd like to thank those who are listening in the background and those who are commenting in the chat room. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave. And know that this is GameChanger 00100. Catch my stream in about 20 minutes. I'm gone. Peace.